Should I delete everything after my breakup? This is a question that I really asked myself when I went through my second traumatic breakup, because back in the day, this was something that happened to me back in the day when I went through my first huge catastrophic heartbreaking breakup when I was 21. My friends took my phone on a night out and deleted everything. They deleted every message he'd sent, they deleted our conversations, I think they deleted them on Facebook, they deleted everything, and I could not handle it. I was not ready to stop rereading our conversations, because in this relationship we hadn't been together that long. We'd been together for 3 months, but it had been a massive whirlwind. I was head over heels in love with him, thought he was going to be the one, blah blah blah. And the intensity of our relationship made me, the intensity of the relationship and then the speed of the breakup and the complete unexpectedness of it, it literally happened overnight, I started to question whether what my experience was with him had actually been real. I started to doubt myself. I felt like I must have made it up. Was there something wrong with me? Had any of this even happened? And rereading the messages that we'd had between each other helped me to realise that it wasn't just all in my head. So when they took my phone and deleted everything, it really set back my healing process, because I just spiraled from there. I was I felt like I'd lost everything when I lost him, which 10 years later I know that is absolutely not the case, but at the time I felt like I'd lost everything. And then to lose the messages and the communication and the proof that this relationship had existed, to lose that as well was so hard for me to deal with. It made everything worse. And then when I went through my second catastrophic breakup, I've had 5 relationships, 3 of which the breakups weren't particularly anything to get too upset about, and then I've had 2 major catastrophic breakups. Catastrophic, how many more times am I going to say that in this? But the second huge breakup I went through, I remember listening to a podcast on breakups, and the advice being get rid of everything that reminds you of them, delete all the messages, throw out all the photos, destroy any evidence of him. And I was it gave me anxiety hearing that advice, because I was well, no, because that's what happened before, and it didn't allow me to process the breakup and to heal on my own terms. So the second time, when I was also much older, as soon as we split up, I took down all photos of us, I removed him from my phone background, I put everything that reminded me of him in a suitcase and stored it away. And gradually over time, as I went through each phase of the healing process, I got rid of something else. Even up until recently, I found some old photos that I didn't realise I had of him. And I was right, tear those up, get rid of those, because I don't need them anymore. And I think it's really down to you and how you feel about things. If throwing away his stuff or their stuff, if deleting your conversations, if deleting your photos of each other, if that is something that's gonna empower you and make you feel stronger and be right, that's it, I'm done with them, let me move on with my life. If doing that in that moment is gonna make you feel better about the breakup and light that fire inside of you to move on and get on with your life without them, then absolutely delete everything. But if you're in a really fragile state where perhaps the breakup was a shock, perhaps it was unexpected, you found out maybe there was cheating involved, or it just happened overnight, like my 2 big breakups happened to me, in those instances, I would say it's okay to take your time. You don't have to delete everything immediately, because sometimes you've already lost this person that you thought you were going to be with. Like, none of us are in relationships where we think, oh, this is just the relationship for now, I'll find someone better in the future. Or from my experience, I've never been in a relationship where at the time I haven't thought that this was, oh, maybe that's a bit of a lie. Maybe there are a couple of like more situationship type relationships. But when you're with someone, when you love someone, you expect to continue to build your life with them. And when you make plans for the future and when you think about your dreams and what you want to achieve, they are in that life and that vision for the future somewhere. So you've already, when you go through a breakup, you've already lost a person, you've already lost a certain type of future that you'd created in your mind. To then delete everything as well straight away, whilst yes, it can be completely healing for some people, it can also make the loss feel worse, because now you also don't have the memories, the happy times, the things that remind you of them. So when it comes to deleting stuff after a breakup, I do think it can be a process. I think it has to be your decision, and I don't think anyone can make that decision for you. Like, it was really traumatic for me when my friends deleted every trace of my ex back then, and it was only like a couple of weeks after the breakup. I was in a really vulnerable state anyway, and I know that they did it from a good place. I know they did it because they wanted to help me, they wanted to support me, they thought I deserved better, and they wanted to help me move on. I know that, but it actually had the opposite effect, and I think it meant that it took me a much longer time to process the breakup, because then I couldn't have this proof of, well, this did actually exist and this was something that I can be upset about. So if you're struggling to make that decision, just do it bit by bit. Like, maybe pack all their stuff away in a suitcase and put it out of your mind. Maybe store it away in a drawer. Maybe get rid of like 3 things, or use your, like, open your photo app on your phone and every day delete 1 photo, and just do it gradually so that you're processing things on your own timeline, because that's going to heal you more in the long run, rather than trying to force yourself into processing, into healing, into being better and out the other side of the breakup, when that might not necessarily be what's right for you. Let me know if this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.